NAOP is extremely privileged to have with us today a person that truly needs no introduction. Susana Martinez ran her 2010 campaign on a platform of reducing wasteful spending, lowering taxes to create more jobs, ending corruption in government, and education reform. She was sworn in as governor on January 1st, 2011, making her the first Latina woman governor in the United States history. She served as district attorney for the 3rd Judicial District in Doñana County for 14 years. She was reelected 3 times, running unopposed for the office in 2008. Susana comes from a hard-working, middle-class family. Her father and mother started a security guard business with $400 in their pocket. Susana worked as a security guard while studying in the evenings. As governor, she works hard every day for the children and taxpayers of the state of New Mexico to create a state government based on the principles of common sense and good business practices. During the 2011 legislative session, she made a statement that government was not going to run the same old way. Please help me welcome Governor Susana Martinez.
I came here during the campaign season to share with you my vision as just described to you. And it was a vision to change New Mexico, to change the path that we had been on. And it has been my honor and my pleasure to serve as your governor. We had to pull together in order to make sure we were changing the way we did business in New Mexico. And so for those of you that are here, we are very grateful for pulling together to make sure we made sure that New Mexico and the message to the rest of this country is that New Mexico is open for business. We're looking at a $450 million deficit. We had to start making deep cuts. As I said on the opening day of the legislature in my State of the State address, the long-term solution to New Mexico's budget woes is economic growth. The surest way to impede economic growth was for us to increase taxes. Now, I know that some lawmakers prefer to call tax increases something like revenue enhancements. But a tax increase by any other name is still a tax increase. It still comes out of your bottom line, and it means you have less money to hire more employees. And having come from a family who started a small business when I was in high school, it was frightening because you had to have enough money in the bank to meet payroll. My mother working at the kitchen table because she worked nights on the new business, but during the daytime working at the real job that she had in order to provide for her family. And so I understand what it's like to work at a business that you have to maintain more of your own money in order to keep your doors open and to make sure that you keep expanding. And that is our priority. You will have no greater partner in economic development than the governor of the state of New Mexico. I will partner with you, as John Barella will, to make sure that we open our doors and make sure, one, we keep the business we have here, we allow you and provide for you the economic environment so that you can grow, and number 3, that we invite new businesses to join us here at our beautiful state. For too long, we've seen jobs leave New Mexico, and many of them have gone to Texas because neighboring states are more business friendly, and it's not just our jobs that are leaving our state. Our children are leaving our state for those better paying jobs elsewhere. If our state is going to compete, and if we're going to ensure that our children can find a job here, a good paying job, one that they can stay here and be proud of, New Mexico must do business more friendly. And first, to help companies fight regulatory hangups, my administration created the Office of Business Advocacy, which is housed within the state's Economic Development Department with John Barella. This is a place where any small business can go to receive assistance with a permit or a license. If a company is looking to set up shop in New Mexico and they need research, assistance, or other information, the Office of Business Advocacy will serve as a point of contact for the state. I am proud to announce that there have already been a number of success stories from this initiative, and we must do more than provide targeted tax credits to certain industries. That cannot be the be-all and end-all for economic development. I don't think a small business should have to come to Santa Fe to lobby for a special credit, a special tax credit, in order for them to grow or expand. My vision is that New Mexico becomes a state where companies look to relocate, where our local businesses are encouraged to grow and expand, and where it's easy for entrepreneurs to turn their ideas into job-creating businesses right here in New Mexico. The way to turn the vision into a reality is not through piecemeal solutions, not to request those special tax credits for special industries only, but through structural reforms that help all small businesses to grow, just like my parents. They were a small business, and they were one of 80% of the businesses that create the jobs for most people in the town that we lived in. 80% of all jobs are created by small businesses. And we need to make sure that we are fair across the board to all of those small businesses, and not only those that target special tax credits. Over the next year, we're going to be working with business leaders, local elected officials, and legislators on both sides of the aisle to develop tax reforms that do exactly that, make it easier for small businesses to create jobs. However, at the end of the day, we need to have people who will be able to fill those jobs. Educated individuals, our children, our sons and daughters, must receive a better education. And during this legislative session, we received across-the-board support for reform in our educational system. So we want to make sure that we're not moving kids from one grade to the next for the sake of moving them along. These kids are our future. What we have to do is quit talking about it. We need to start doing something about it. We need to reward our teachers, our best teachers, encourage them to stay. We need to see the passion in those teachers that we know is there, and reward the ones that are willing to take on those struggling schools and the struggling students. We also want to make sure that we reward them in a way that doesn't mean we're just throwing money at the problem. We're measuring progress and success and how the student is learning. That's how we measure the success of a teacher. It's not by the money that we give to the system. We measure success by how kids are learning. And if we're not measuring how children are learning, then how do we know whether we're getting what we're paying for? And at the end of the day, if we don't get what we're paying for, the only ones that lose are our children. And that is my one commitment to you, is that we're going to turn the school system around in this state so that they are prepared for the job market. So that they're prepared whether they go to college or whether they decide to go into the job market as senior getting out of high school. It is important to me that they be prepared so they can provide for their families. We're going to have jobs that are available in New Mexico that are going to require high skills. And we are going to look 20 years ahead. And how do we prepare our students for that job market 20 years from now? So we're going to have vision instead of simply graduating our kids. And that's important to us so that, once again, when companies come to New Mexico, they see that they have people who are ready and willing to take on those jobs when they create those jobs here in New Mexico. I'm excited to be here with NAP. I am excited to, I came here 2 or 3 times during the campaign. It is my honor. It is truly my privilege to work for you. Every day I am reminded that I do not work for myself. I work for you. I work for your families, and I work for your children. And at the end of the day, I will simply be ex-governor. And that is all, because as governor, it is my responsibility to work for you. At the end of the day, hopefully, I will make a difference beyond our lifetime. Hopefully, I will make a difference in a way that when I am done being governor, then it will not be anything about me but the difference that we made during our lifetimes here, during our work as governor, during our work as legislators. That is what is most important to me. And I will work night and day for each of you to make sure you are healthy and you grow, and that we provide the best health care for those that are most in need, but that at the end of the day, our children live and grow in a way that is most healthy, in a way that is most prosperous, and in a way where they start to make history.